Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's school year 2013-2014. So congratulations to this year's upcoming seniors. You have about approximately 9 to 10 months, and you are done. All right, and you're moving on to the next step in your education. So I'm looking forward to working with you throughout the year. I created this video, and in typical Mr. Cole style, I made the first one and turned a 5 to 6 minute discussion into 15 minutes. So let's try to do that a little more effectively. And I'm going to talk to you quickly about 5 main goals that I have for the classroom this year. The first one is going to be your writing skills. The second one will focus on your reading informational skills and what we can do to improve those. The third one is CCR, or College and Career Readiness Standards. The fourth main goal is getting you familiar with different types of technology. And the fifth one is going to be helping you improve your own research and question asking skills by interacting with both text and assignments. So let's look first at the writing skills in your 11th and 12th grade standards this year. We're going to focus a lot again on writing. And the important parts of writing we're going to incorporate into all of your large assignments. So when we look at the papers that we're doing this year, we're going to write one that is in narrative, has a narrative or storytelling focus, one that has an argument focus, and one that has an explanatory focus. And those are just kind of to review what you've already learned on those, to sharpen your mind as to exactly how to create arguments and how to use grounds to back your claims, and how to analyze and think critically. And then we're going to take it up the next step and start using those different skills in the same writing assignments. Okay, that is in your 11th and 12th grade standards, that they want to see you using your skills of narrative or storytelling, to help out in an argument, okay, to give an example of something while you're making a claim. They want to see your ability to explain things well with explanatory writing, all right, within an argument structure. They want to see how well you can use all of those together, and that's something that you're going to have the opportunity to work on in class this year through a lot of our assignments. The second one goal that we have was reading informational goals. All right, when we're talking about reading informational goals, we're talking about comprehension of a variety of different informational texts. So those will include but aren't limited to things like arguments. All right, well, especially in the senior class, we have an entire unit that's focused greatly on philosophy and on creating arguments and understanding what they are. So we'll talk about Toulmin's argument model. We're going to understand it, and then we're going to use analysis and critical thinking to better understand arguments that are classic arguments written in ones today. And then you're going to have experiences writing your own, okay, both in groups and on your own. And we're going to really work on that skill. It's an important skill to have going forward. We're also going to be working on our reading informational skills for people who are not planning on going on to college. For people who are just looking to go into a career, or maybe going to to get an associate's degree or getting into a career program. And you need these skills as well, because while you may not be planning on attending a 4-year college, you will be filling out job applications. You're going to be given pamphlets on health insurance. You're going to want to buy a house, hopefully. You're going to want to apply for loans. And there is a lot of information, your parents or guardians could attest to this, that is in fine print and written really small and difficult wording. And that's typically the stuff that you really need to know. And our reading informational skills are going to help you understand it, analyze it, and be able to think critically and make arguments that go along with that. So it's going to help everyone, not just people who are planning on going into college. You've got to understand, why did someone write this? What was their main purpose? What are these small points? And what does this all mean? So we're gonna be looking at also the third thing that I told you was we're going to talk about college and career readiness standards and how that's going to be a focus. There's a direct correlation between the skills that we're going to be focusing on in class and your next learning opportunity, be that in a career or in a college setting. The skills that you are learning are much more important than just the content. Okay, we still will have a lot of the content that is important that goes with language arts. We will have vocabulary content and you'll need to understand root words, and you will need to understand grammar and things like that. You'll need to understand some things that go along with literature. But I can't stress this enough that content is not the focus of this course. It is your education, and it is on your skills. And that's going to take some effort from you. It's one of the wonderful things about language arts that I really enjoy is that everyone can read, write, and think critically on some level. It may be different for each person, but everyone has some level where they operate on all of these language arts skills. And my goal as a teacher is to help you sharpen your skills, almost like a coach. So when you come into class, we're going to take these skills and see how far you can push yourself and see how good you can get at them. But as I stated, this comes with some effort on your part because the students who work harder, they may not have the best ACT test score, but the students who work hard at developing these skills will be more prepared for both college and for the career they go into afterwards because these skills follow you there. The fourth goal was getting familiar with technology. Technology is a huge part of your world, way more than it was in mine when I graduated in 2001. So I'm doing my best to flip the class. So as much content and things that we do in class as I can, I will make available online. I'm going to use different types of technology because I want you to learn these different types, and I think that if you're going to need to learn them, that I need to be using them and learning them as well. So we're going to be using YouTube as a tool. We'll be using blogging. There's a writing standard for 11th and 12th grade that deals with writing and publishing digitally, and that includes the internet in the standard. So we're going to talk about some important issues such as internet safety, as we do every year when we start using Moodle. Moodle is a resource. We'll talk about internet safety and appropriateness. We'll talk about blogging. What is it? Why would you do it? What's the point to it? We'll talk about helping you create your own legacy of learning, where your work and papers that you have can be available to you after you graduate this course, right? Be it 11th grade or 12th grade. All of you, the goal is to have you digitally published so you have a record of your work as you leave high school. So we'll talk about Blogger and WordPress and a few other things. We'll be using Vuvox, VUVOX, which is a program I love to use in class. It incorporates pictures, video, music, Photoshop tools, and it's a presentation tool that you can use to present going forward, after this class is done. You can use it in your other classes or in a presentation setting professionally, and it's really cool. You'll like that one. The other big one that we use is Prezi. Those of you who had me as a junior, we're going to be using Prezi again this year. It's got a little bit of a learning curve to it, but once you learn how to do it, you can really enhance all of your presentations, and it's a free program to use on the web. It's very professional for those of you who haven't used it. You can incorporate graphics and designs and PowerPoint and all the other cool stuff that you are already doing into one presentation where you're in control of all of it. That brings us up to our fifth goal, and our fifth goal is finding resources. This is very important. It's the number one thing that I get complaints about from college professors. I have some friends that I talk to online and in person, and the biggest, I guess you'd call it a pet peeve that they have with underclassmen and even some of their upperclassmen is that they do not understand how to find resources. For example, let's say you go to college or you go into your job and a task is given. So either a professor gives an assignment online or in person, or a boss gives you something and says, hey, go home, I want you to study this. You're doing a presentation for a client on Monday, and you need to know this inside and out. And you go home, and it doesn't make sense. You just go, oh, man, well, in real life, you don't get to go to work on Monday and tell your boss, yeah, sorry, I couldn't figure any of it out. Or you don't get to come to class in college and say, oh, I couldn't do the assignment over the weekend because this part didn't make sense to me. So the way that this prepares you for this is I want to create assignments for you where I can give you as much information as possible in the room, but when you leave, there'll be things that you can do. You have to be able to take a reading informational text, and this is why it's such an important skill, and look at it and understand it, and then interact with the text. Remember, for those of you who had me as a junior, I don't want you to just read something and understand the basics. I want you to interact with the text that you've been given. I want you to analyze it. I want you to ask questions. And then once you've asked questions about the text or things that don't make sense, I want you on your own to be able to go and find resources to answer your questions. And like we talked about earlier, you've got to be able to quickly evaluate your resources. All right, you have the way more resources than any generation ever has. On online, on online journals, on online newspapers, at the library, in print. You have everything at your hand's touch. We didn't necessarily have that, but our job was a lot easier because there wasn't that information to sift through. You are inundated with information, and you need to find out quickly what's useful and what isn't. All right, so those are our basic goals for this year. I cut that one down about 3 minutes, got it down to 11, so it's a little bit more time efficient. And I just leave you with this. I can't wait for this school year to begin. I'm excited to work with you guys. I worked all summer on the class trying to get it ready and to flip the class to make it available for you online. So I can't wait to see you. I'll see you in less than a week. Roll Blue Devils.